Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be putting together my Christmas tree for 2020. I'm so excited to put it together. I always do something a little bit different every year. If you'd like to see my last 2 years of trees, I'm gonna link them down in the description box. Last year, I did more of like a red buffalo check theme. The year before that, it was all white and I did a winter wonderland. This year, I'm gonna be adding in some more greens and it's gonna be a little bit more woodsy and natural. So we'll see how it all comes together. As I'm putting together my tree, I'm going to share with you some steps that you can follow no matter what your decor is to make your tree look really high-end and really professional. So let's get started. I have my tree box over here, so I'm going to start putting it together. I always like to put my tree over in the corner by my fireplace. It just fits well there, so I usually take out my chair that's sitting over there to put in my tree. My tree is from Home Depot. It's Martha's Living 7.5 foot pre-lit Alexander pine tree. I bought it a couple of years ago, but I'm sure you could find the same one, if not something similar. The reason I go with 7.5 feet is because my ceilings are a little bit lower. I would love to have a 9-foot tree, but it just doesn't fit in my space. Once my tree is set up, the next step is to go in and work on your branches. This is probably the most important step to making your tree look like it's full and really nice. So do not skip this step. What you want to do is start at the bottom and you're going to have your hand on every single branch on your tree. You're going to go in and fluff out the branches. So you're going to spread the branches apart, you're going to pull them up, and this is just going to give so much fullness to your tree. Now I've done this the last couple of years, so some of my tree branches are already fluffed, but I still like to go through and do every branch. Okay, so we made it through the boring part, which is setting up the tree, fluffing it out, doing all that stuff. Although it's important, it's kind of the most boring step. So the next step I like to do is add in picks. I think this is the part that sometimes people skip, and I think it's important. It's going to add in depth to your tree, and it's going to give you more of a layered look. So let me show you the picks that I'm going to be using. I know I'm gonna get questions asking me if I every year buy new stuff, and I don't. What I do is I typically will buy a few new things each year, and then when I store it in a bin by color. So all of my red items are in one bin, all of my white items are in another bin. So most of the stuff I'm using that's white, I used 2 years ago. But things like this greenery I bought, and that's gonna be something new that I added in this year. So that's kind of how I try to do it. So I'm not, buying everything new every year, but I can give my tree a fresh look. Okay, so these, I'm sure they still have them. They are from Hobby Lobby. They're just little white picks, and I like to lay them inside of my branches. I have several of those. I've really been impressed lately with Walmart and their Christmas stuff. So most of this stuff that I'm using is from Walmart. These are the picks that I found at Walmart. Now they were $3.98, which I felt like was a little bit high for this type of pick. You may be able to get something on sale at Hobby Lobby for a little bit cheaper, but I really like the look of those, so I grabbed those. And then these were $3.98 as well. They're basically just pine cones, so I think that I'll probably stick them in and then I'll probably fluff them out so you can see them a little bit better. And then I got a few of these. I think these were maybe $1.98, maybe $2.98. It's got a little deer head on it, and I don't know, I just thought those were kind of cute. So I'm probably gonna clip that to a branch, and then I'll bend this and stick it up like that. So all the picks are now on the tree where I want them to be. And now I'm gonna add in some wood beads. This was another new item that I purchased this year. Dollar Tree is selling these natural wood garland beads in a set of, they're 12 feet long and they're $5.98. Now, side note, if you just need wood beads, that's a great deal for these. So I picked up, let's see, I picked up 5 of these, and I'm going to start at the top and string them all along. So the trick with adding garland beads is to make sure that they look like they're not just sitting on the top. You want to kind of push them into your tree and give them a little dip, but make all the dips a little bit different. You don't have to circle all the way to the back of your tree. You can go maybe to the side and then twist it and come back around, but you want it just to look natural. So when you're putting them on, try not to have them just sitting on the front of your tree, if possible. Next up, we are going to be putting on ribbon. I usually buy new ribbon every year. This year, I'm gonna be using a burlap ribbon, and then I'm also going to be using this really cute green and white striped ribbon. Both of these came from Walmart. They were $5.98 for 18 feet. I think that's a pretty good deal. You could get it anywhere. The one thing I suggest, well, this is kind of a must. Make sure that whatever ribbon you get, it has wire on either end. If it doesn't have wire, you're not gonna be able to form it and make it poof out and look cute the way you want it to. There's a lot of different ways to put ribbon onto your tree. Sometimes I'll cut it in strips and then I'll put it in my last year's video. That's how I did it. So if you're wanting to use less ribbon, I suggest doing that. You could also cut it and make it stick in like little bubbles or whatever. You could do it that way. The way that I'm gonna be doing it today is cascading. So I'm gonna start at the top and I'm going to periodically push the ribbon in, and then it's gonna drape down. Now this will use the most amount of ribbon, so if you wanna use a little bit of ribbon, maybe try one of the other ways, but I think it gives it a really beautiful look. So I plan on alternating the ribbon, doing like a strip of green, a strip of the burlap. So start at the top and push the ribbon into the top so you can't see it. Maybe put it in the back. Now, the key to this is not making the ribbon fall straight down. You actually want to kind of move it from side to side, and the areas that you push in, don't make them the exact same distance. It'll give a little bit of variation. As you're doing this, pull on your ribbon a little bit so you get a nice little curve to it. It makes it look nice. And my biggest recommendation is to stop, take a look at it, step back and see how it looks before you go on to your next thing. You can always take it off. You can always add to. So just have fun with it and experiment. When I'm doing this, I like to keep the ribbon on the roll, and then when I'm done, I will cut off at the bottom. But I typically don't cut it because I don't know how much ribbon I'm gonna need for a single strip. To make your ribbon stay on the tree really well, what I like to do is when I'm pushing the ribbon into the tree, take a little branch from the back and you're gonna wrap it around the ribbon and twist it. That's gonna hold it in place. Otherwise, you're gonna get the ribbon kind of slowly creeping out over the next few weeks, and that doesn't look good. So if you kind of twist it in place, your ribbon will stay, you know, until you take it down. Calm down, Miss. Okay, so next step is to make a bow for the top of the tree. Sometimes I'll do picks, but I do like the way a bow looks at the top. So I'm gonna put together a quick bow with this ribbon. I'm gonna show you how to do it. It's pretty easy, if Moose will let me. Okay. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is take both of the ribbons that I'm using for, I have the burlap one and the green and white one. And you wanna make it bigger than you think you need it. I'm hoping I have enough ribbon. I probably should have started a new one, but we'll see. So you're gonna fold it in half like this, and then flip it over again. Just keep flipping it over. All right, so then I'm gonna cut it off down here. All right, so next step is to fold this in half. Sorry you can't see my face. At least you can see cute Moose. I can't sit on the floor without him. So after I fold it in half, and by the way, I have a whole video on how to put together a bow. I'm gonna link it down in the description box because I walk you through all the steps. All right, so I'm gonna show you what I'm doing. So I'm cutting the edges in the very center. Now in the video, I use zip ties and I will put them together with zip ties. That's a great way to do it. You can also use any kind of wire you have. Just be careful you don't go too far. Okay, I'm just gonna use the ribbon because I just wanna make it easy. So, take the ribbon I have and you're gonna just pull it as tight as possible. So now that I have it through there, I'm just gonna twist it. So you're left with something that looks like this. Okay, so now this is the part where you fluff. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull them out, like you're gonna pull out this first one, and you're going to pull it forward, okay? Now since I'm using, oop, that one came out. That must have been my end. I can always glue that in. Okay, so I'm gonna take this next one, and since I'm using two of the same kind of ribbon, I'm gonna pull those both forward. I'm going to need to glue that part in. And now I'll take this out, move it to the back, take this out, move it to the back. I hope this bow is fluffy enough. I didn't have a lot of ribbon. I may have to combine it. Okay. That needs to get back in there. Okay, so now we'll go to the other side, pull these out, and we'll move these forward. And we'll move these back. Now these are your little tails. You can just kind of flip those when they're on there. Okay, so that's kind of the shape of your bow. Now, this is what you're gonna use where you attached it. That's what you're gonna use to wrap around the tree. So probably what I'll do is I'm gonna put it up on the tree, and then I'm gonna slowly kind of push these down so that they look little and small and fluffy. I probably would have wanted the bow to go around maybe 2 more times to give me a few more loops, but this will work. Moose just got a haircut not that long ago, so he's pretty cute and little right now. I'm gonna add that to the tree. The ribbon is up. Now we're going to move to ornaments. This is a fun part. I did pick up some new ornaments at Walmart. I was concentrating on just getting some like natural tones, some burlap with a hint of green. I'm not going crazy with the green, but I wanted a little bit of green accents. So I picked up some ornaments, had some green in them. I also pulled out my stash of white ornaments. So I'm gonna sprinkle in my white ornaments. So this is when it really helps to have your ornaments color coordinated so I can get all of those white ornaments and just easily use those. Now the first ornament that I'm going to be putting on are these snowflake ornaments. I wanted to have some big ornaments, so I'm going to get those in place first because I feel like I'm going to need to make sure that those are spaced correctly. So a few of my tips whenever you're putting up ornaments. One is you don't want to do like the kid hang where you hang them all on the end of the branch. You want to get really far into your tree and hang some ornaments. I like to do this with like my round ornaments. I call those more of like my filler ornaments. If you have all your ornaments on the perimeter of your tree, it's going to look, it's just not going to have much depth to it. But if you have ornaments that are inside of your tree too, it's going to end up looking so much more fuller. So concentrate on getting some ornaments inside your tree, and then the ones that you have on the front, make sure that they're securely on a branch. And again, my advice, just take a look back and see where you need to add. I have all the ornaments on there, so the next thing I'm gonna do is just add in some of those finishing touches. So I'm gonna add in some more pine cones, some more picks. If I see an area that maybe needs another ornament, I'll do that as well. But now that I have everything up there, this is the time to add. Maybe you wanna add in more ribbon at this step. So there's a lot of things you can do to really finish it off, but don't be afraid to keep adding until you have it at the spot you want it to be. So I was really excited to find this new tree collar this year at Walmart. It was under $20. It's gonna be great for the farmhouse look that I'm going for, so I'm gonna put that under the tree and then I'll be done. And here's a final look at how my tree turned out. So my hope in doing this video is so that you can get some ideas that you can transfer into your tree. My tree is definitely not over the top. I think it's pretty normal. So I hope you learned some tips and tricks that you can use in your tree this year. I'd love to know down in the comments, what color or theme are you going with for your tree? It's always fun to find out what different people are doing on their trees. If you're new here, make sure you're subscribed. I will be posting my mantle video where I do like a really pretty swag for my Christmas mantle about a week from now. If you missed our last video, I'll link it here for you, and I'll talk to you guys in our next one. Bye.